formally open the meeting now. Thank you. All right. Okay, welcome to the virtual meeting of the Allotment Association Committee on the Thursday, the 14th of January. Can we go to the first item, please? Right, okay. 66420, declarations of any disposable pecuniary interest. Do I have any?
None, thank you.
Thank you. 66520, apologies for absence.
Yes, I've got apologies from Councillor Hollis, who may be late or may not even be able to come. So I'll put that down as an apology.
Thank you very much then. Moving on, 666-20, to confirm the minutes of the committee meeting held on the 23rd of October 2020, 13th of November 2020, and the 7th of December 2020, received by council on the 15th of December 2020, to confirm as a true record and signed initialed by the committee chair. Right. So if we could have the minutes up.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry I'm rushing things, but we're under pressure here a bit. Okay, is everybody happy with the minutes for the 23rd of October?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We can move on to the minutes for the November 18th, no, 13th, sorry, meeting. There should be on your screens now. Is everybody happy with that one?
No, there's on the
Right.
section 449, the wording is incorrect. Where it says there's a B area on Berry Road, that should say the B area on Mumford Road. That's where the issue was.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks very much. I made a note of that.
Thank you, Chris.
Are there any other? No. Okay, if we can, is everybody all right with those minutes then? I have some affirmative.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much.
Agreed.
And moving on to the December 7th meeting, the minutes. Are we happy with that one?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. So moved for those. Right, 66720, allotment officers report.
Okay, yeah, I'll go through these quickly. We're going to reinstate pest control on most of the sites. This is largely to reduce the obvious, but also to assist in preventing the spread of avian flu as well, because rats apparently help to spread that. So security, we have no further issues with locks going missing, which is good. It's the only replacements needed was just due to general wear and tear. All locks are now tethered to the site gates. That was a request made by the informal allotment meeting. And all locks have been shielded against frosty conditions with the use of Hessian sacking. So that seems to be proving quite good to enable access. Moving on to plot clearance, that's ongoing. There's been some intensive clearances carried out on a number of plots, making them more desirable to take on. Standpipes, I've added extra insulation to standpipes to try and safeguard the anti-flow back device. That's quite a sensitive bit of the tap and quite expensive to replace. So I've insulated those to try and protect them a bit more. And the plan is to, as time goes on, is to add isolation points to the individual taps. And finally, the contracted work, ID Verdi carrying out hedge trimming. They're doing a very good job of that. And that is mainly being carried out at Mumford Road. They've almost completed that now and it's looking very good. And that is it.
Thank you, Carl. Are there any comments from the committee or officers on
If I
that?
could please, Chair, just a quickie.
Thank you, Chris.
The fire that on the Berry Road, is that plot still not cleared, or is it done yet?
I've left it to the tenant. Yeah, I've had no word from the tenant requesting any help to remove anything.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody
got-
else?
Just one thing, please, Mr. Chairman. The contractors work, they are being careful when they're cutting the bushes, aren't they? Because there'd be a lot of wildlife hibernating, like hedgehogs and things.
I hope so.
Well,
Yeah,
this is
but the main thing it's being done out of the nesting season. That's the main concern. They're all very much health and safety conscious. They seem to be performing it in a safe way. So yeah, I guess if they come across anything, they would take the appropriate action.
So Carl, you're fairly certain that they would report anything they found.
Yeah, they seem a good crew.
All right.
What they're doing looks good.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Okay, if we can move on to 66820. The financial report. Alan, I take it you're going to go through this with us?
I am, Chair. Chair, from an income perspective, you'll see that our actual income is 8473. Our budgeted income was 8248. So our income is on track. What we expected this year, we will probably receive. We've got a couple of minor adjustments to do on VAT because we haven't always accounted for the VAT correctly. But that's not, there might be a £50 adjustment in total to the income. On the expenditure side, we budgeted 6656, which people will see in that column. We've actually spent 3875, but there's a little bit of a misnomer here. We're not that significantly under budget because Cole discovered that we had paid our pest control contractors. They came back and said that they hadn't done the work, so they've given us a credit note, and when they start doing the work now, that cost will be incurred. So we've had a credit note. The expenditure was incurred in the previous financial year, and that is now sitting in the current financial year. So it does slightly distort the information. I have to get my cursor right. What I've put on this particular slide is just a breakdown of that. You'll see the credit note on the credit side of this slide halfway down, 2160, and the rest of it is our expenses. There's a small adjustment for a fee, which is a misallocation. I'm not too worried about that. But generally, this is where we spent our money this year, bearing in mind that a lot of the costs are sitting in personnel. They don't actually sit or get allocated to allotments. So the big expenses are the mesh fencing that we had done at the beginning of the year, of the financial year, sorry, and the removal of asbestos, which was another significant amount of money. And that's it. I don't know if there's any questions.
Are there any other questions from the committee? I have one, but I'll wait until you guys are finished. No? Okay. My question is water tap keys. That seems like an awful lot of money for them. Why was that? It's the spare keys. It's £503. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
I'm hoping Carl might be able to shed some light on that.
I think I'm not sure how many we bought. I know we was constantly being asked to supply them. I think they work out to £6 each, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a deposit required for that. So if they don't return the key, they don't have the deposit back. So I think our deposits more than enough cover the cost of the key. But off the top of my head, I think they're £6 each. But we was constantly getting requests for tap keys. So
Okay.
each one that goes out, we hold a deposit on. So we
Yeah,
shouldn't
and would that deposit go back into our budget then?
The only time that deposit would go back into our budget is if the key was not returned.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So we charge people £10 for a water key deposit, and
Right.
we only if when they relinquish their sites, in order to get that £10 back, they have to return the key to us. Whether people have lost their keys, etc., we'll only know when they actually relinquish the site. So it could come back into our budget, but it will be much later on if in that particular circumstance.
Thank you very much, Alan, for that. Are there any other questions on the expenditure? No. Well, if we can move forward to the next agenda item, 668, I think it is. 669, sorry, one behind. Okay, again, Alan, is this again?
Sure, I'll quickly talk through this. We've transferred all the data and we've been using the system to do the billing. We've transferred the waiting lists. I'm not too sure that process is happening and is giving us robust information, but we are addressing that and we'll get that sorted out soon. We're implementing the integration of the site inspection software, although, as I'm sure you'll know, that in terms of COVID, we're not supposed to do site inspections, but we've at least got the software. We've set up Carl to have a laptop, and he's just in the process of learning the software and putting that in place. We've got to get our new agreements onto the system. So I've set a date of the 1st of February to do that, and that will help us get our waiting list information updated. My assistant is drafting a user manual, so that'll be helpful to all of us because we're learning more and more about the system. The other thing that we've got to do is refine our roles and responsibilities, because we've now got 4 people involved in allotments. Previously there were 2, and it's just to ensure that tasks aren't duplicated or fall through, but that neither of the 4 of us actually end up that. We set a date of the 1st of September 2021 to be fully operational and fully implemented, and I'm very confident that we're going to achieve that target date.
Thank you, Alan. Any comments from the councillors?
Yeah, who are the 4 people? Who are the 4 people?
It's Carl, Karen, Robinson, my assistant Charlie, Ashmore, and myself.
Right. And so, what you're by September, you're saying that it'd just be down to the 3.
Well, it'll be operational. So the finance side will integrate more seamlessly, to use some nice terminology, with the operational side. At the moment, certain information is coming in, no one's processing it. So we're just trying to get through those loopholes. But there's always a financial side to it, and then there's the operational side to that. And it's just to make sure that they both coordinate and update each other as we go along.
Okay.
Any more? No? Well, I still think this software seems like one of our best ideas, so well done. We can carry on to 667, Frankie. Health and safety.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what we've done, we've downloaded the guidance from the National Allotment Society regarding COVID emergency measures. We are in the process of sending out the information to all allotment tenants who've supplied us with an email address. And additional to that, we've got a QR code, I think it's called, which we're going to print out and put on the individual allotment sites notice boards. I don't know if you wanted me to go through you've got a copy of the download, and it just highlights the essential things to keep everyone safeguarded, really.
Yeah. Has all councillors looked at this and acknowledged it?
Yes, I have, because I'm not allowed to go in the cemeteries. I can't go around to do my health and safety checks. Yeah. I'm not allowed to do inspections.
It is national guidelines, so if we're all, had a chance to read it and absorb it, you know, is there any other comments before we move on, basically? No? Okay, seem to be good for that one.
The next item on health and safety was the updating of the beekeeping policy, which is quite involved. And again, I've gone to the National Allotment Society and downloaded a template, and I believe you all got a copy of that. And it's just deciding on the option. I favour option 1, where it's a designated area for if we intend, you know, if the allotment holders intend to hold bees, keep beehives, that would be safer and easier to control opposed to individual plots. We do have a person with a beehive on their individual plot on Berry Road, but I had a look at that yesterday, and it does seem to be all in order. But I don't think we ought to encourage it. I think we will go to the option 1, where you just have a designated area. But we do have a duty of care to mention it to potential allotment tenants who wish to have a plot, to inform them that we keep bees. And we need to put that on our policy.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any comments from the councillors? If not, I've got a few comments.
I've got a couple, Dennis. If I may.
Okay, then Chris, you go for it, mate.
I totally agree with Carl on the idea of thinking, how are we going to get round our no fences, hide and 3-foot rule if we got to have 2-metre high mesh fencing?
That's where I think if we have a designated area, opposed to individual plots.
Hey, no, I agree. As long as we, you know, consistent and make sure that we're all covered, I'm happy with that. I think option 1 is a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else for comments? Okay. Well, my comment is, yeah, I'm with Carl here. I think we need to go for option 1. It's a lot easier to manage it that way than individual areas, and it does help with the fencing problem. The other thing we need to do is, because we have a duty of care to our allotment holders, and we have notifications that there are bees on the site and everything, I think we're going to have to designate a site that doesn't have bee hives on it, because anybody who applies for an allotment and is allergic to bees, we would not be able to give them an allotment if we have bees on every site. What do people think about that?
I think with regards to Mumford Road, because it's a large site and the existing bee area is at one end, if someone has got objections or health reasons not to, you know, to be kept away from that sort of thing, they could be allocated one at the very far end.
Okay.
So we could probably get around that one. But
Right.
yeah, the smaller sites, it's a different thing. I think we probably wouldn't be allowed to have them.
Would we have to put signs up saying, beware if you're allergic, there are bees on this site, just so we're
Yes.
covered if anyone has an allergy?
I think we just have to notify everyone, really.
Sure, we don't have to have signs like, because just to cover us for a disclaimer or something.
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah, I thought, when I read it, I thought there was somewhere in there saying you should put signs up in the where you're keeping the bees and everything.
Yeah, the actual bee area.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we're going to need to, maybe on the note boards or something. Okay, is there any other comments on that, or are you all happy to go for option 1?
No, I think option 1's the best bet.
Thank you.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think we're going to do option 1 then, Carl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Any other matters under 67020? Nope, silence is golden. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any because I'm not allowed to go and do my inspections in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's a bind, isn't it, on that? Yeah. Okay, if there's no other, we'll go to 67120 waiting list. Again, Carl.
Okay, yeah. That doesn't look quite right to me. We have about 48 parishioners on the waiting list and 2 non-parishioners. 2 of those people on the list are have been offered a plot, but they haven't gone through with it yet. So we just have to decide how long we're going to give them before we move on to the next person.
Right. Yeah. Do you think they may be waiting because of this COVID thing, that people, not so many people go out to their plots, or maybe the weather?
I think it's dating back quite. These are way back in last year, sort of October, November time. I think they probably just changed their mind.
I think we should have a policy, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I think we should have a policy. If we offer you, you must come back within the month. We cannot just sit about waiting for people to answer. You know, COVID, actually, it's a good idea if you've got an allotment because you're in your own space and you're getting your exercise. So, you know, I don't think we can blame COVID, because if anyone was going to take an allotment up, it would be an ideal time.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, Brenda. Thank you.
I think,
Chris? Oh, sorry. I'm Brenda.
yeah, we need to put in somewhere that we only give them a month to answer. If not,
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we do we need to? This is changing our system. So do we need to put this in the rules and call for a vote on this? There's a recommendation.
Chair, if I could just speak. One of the things that we have been doing is we've been looking at our policies and procedures, and there are a number of gaps in them. So I've been speaking to Carl and the rest of the team, and what we're hoping to do is to have a little bit of a workshop and bring it to the next allotments committee meeting with proposed changes, because at the moment there's a lot of vague areas. So we as officers, we have to use our own, intuition or, take a chance. And I'm sure that, in certain cases, it might not represent the views of the committee. So what we're looking to do is just get a document together that the committee buy into, the committee are aware of, so that we have these standard operating procedures to be able to do that. So maybe we could include this particular resolution around waiting this into that process.
I would be in favour of that. How about the rest of the committee?
Well, I don't know why we don't, instead of having a committee meeting, why don't we have a working group? And all go through the policy together.
Well, yeah, I think if the officers can put their recommendations together in a thing, and then we go through them before we have a formal meeting, that would be a good idea. But it's up to the community really on that, and the officers.
Well, from the officers, I think it would be a brilliant way for you to have a workshop like we did with the budget. I found that very useful, and I'm sure I hope the committee members did as well.
I'm in favour.
Yeah.
Brenda?
Yeah, I'm in favour of that.
Chris? And Chris?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much. So we'll bring that one forward, and we'll have on our next formal allotment meeting, we'll put whatever the working group comes up with, okay? And the officers. So on the next agenda is what I mean. Okay. Is there any other comments on that? Right. Okay. So that's 671. So 672 correspondence. Do we have anybody who wants to put any correspondence? Or have we had any correspondence?
The only correspondence I'm aware of is a lady on Mumford Road asked about keeping bees. That's what prompted me to look into this. That's the only thing I'm aware of. So I can get back to her and sort of give her the lowdown of what we've discussed today.
Okay. Well, thank you, Carl. All right. If nobody else has got a comment, we'll move on to 67320, committee officers update.
There's nothing. We've managed to put everything onto the agenda, so there's no further issues from the administration side. Carl,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure whether you've got anything you want to add.
No, I've got no more things to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And 67420, we do not have anything below the line, as I found out earlier. So if anybody doesn't have any more comments, I will call this very swift allotment meeting to an end.
Thank you, Chair.
Well done,
Really
Chair.
well done. And thank you to the officers.
Thank